Thanks for listening to FPRN. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter. If you'd like to start your own show with FPRN, advertise with us, or donate to the network or to your favorite shows, check out our website at www.fprnradio.com.
And we are back with the guest segment of our show. That is actually a track from the person I'm interviewing. It's the third track off their newest album, Endgame. The track is called Insurgence. Make sure you go to their Bandcamp and pick up that album. They're an unsigned band, so it's all coming out of pocket for them. But vocalist name is Drew Winter from the band Shadow of the Colossus. I'm glad to have you with us, man. How's it going?
It's going good, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. So let's get the easy stuff out of the way. So first of all, congratulations on the success of the album. I know a lot of in my perusings of metal forums and stuff like that towards the end of the year, Endgame made a lot of people's lists for album of the year. So congratulations there.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
so
that.
Are you guys going to be playing any shows? I know you guys are from out west in California, right?
Yeah, we are, Sacramento, California. We're actually not planning on playing any shows, at least for a long time. We're all busy with our own lives and stuff like that. We just keep creating albums because we like making music, you know.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I know I personally have seen a lot of growth there. I remember first hearing about you guys maybe 2 years ago when, ironically, me and Jamie here had just gotten back from protesting Bilderberg when they were in Chantilly, Virginia, and that's what drew me to you guys is I saw, on the web of YouTube when you're looking at bands, how different stuff just pops up and you're on there for 3 days straight. The song Spill Bilderberg Blood by you guys. So that definitely drew me to you guys, and I ended up liking the page. So I guess it's kind of obvious, but what made you, what inspired you to write that song?
Well, I think all in all, I'm seeing a lot of this political stuff in metal especially now because I think everyone's pretty pissed off just like me, and that's pretty much what drew me to it, you know what I mean? I discovered it through a friend and just kind of studied up on it and gathered some facts, and then I gathered some theories and kind of put my own thing together and my own understanding of it, and it honestly threw me for a loop. I was really pissed off about it, and so...
Yeah, and you're right.
That first album we have...
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying that first album we had, we put a lot of stuff about, politics, things like that on that album, so...
Yeah, and you're absolutely right about this kind of message breaking through in a lot of metal bands. I mean, Meshuggah has been doing it for a long time, and that's my personal favorite band, and they have a lot of pull. And even newer bands that have a lot of weight behind them, like Born of Osiris and stuff like that, they're really heavy on, if you want to call it politics or philosophy or whatever, just breaking through the bullshit of our society and what is controlling our society is the way that I see it. So, Spill Bilderberg Blood. So obviously you know a little bit about the Bilderberg group.
Of course, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, and basically for anybody in our audience who is not familiar with the Bilderberg group, Bilderberg is a group of over 100 members of finance, media, politics from around the world that meet in differing areas around the world once a year, every year since, was it 58, Jamie? Something like that. So
definitely something like that.
Yeah, something like that. A long friggin' time now. I mean, what to you is some of the most important aspects with our society at this point? Like, what if you could pick one or two issues that you really try to convey in your music? What would that be?
I don't know about wishes. I mean, in general, all the secrecy really throws me off, and it really upsets me that it's got to be like this. And, I grew up with my parents always telling me, you're so lucky to live in this country, you're so lucky, because they grew up in that era where it was a matter of, always go with what is told, follow your leader, and I think now it's just a matter of, there's so many lies out there, there's so much deception, and it's just building and building and building, and people are just getting more and more mad about it. And I just there's a lot of people out there that are also extremely scared, and you can't really blame them. So I guess in my own world, I would say all the secrecy, all that shit needs to stop.
Absolutely, and like you said, our forefathers here grew up in an era where it was more the norm to just kind of go along with authority and go along with the status quo. And that's one of the things that I think is the greatest, because my parents were kind of the same way until I just got way past the point where they couldn't talk me back into it anymore. But and I feel that that's one of the most Go ahead.
I mean, it's like, look around you, you know what I mean? Things just keep getting worse and worse, and then the rich keep getting more rich and rich and rich, and it's never ending right now. It feels like there's no end in sight. And now
so what's your perspective on what causes that, the rich getting richer?
Well, I mean, in the sense of the Bilderberg, they kind of get together and say, well, how can we profit? Not how can the world profit. It's a matter of how much more money can we make, and pull together this elite group, and in it relating to the New World Order and all that, it's a power thing, ruling the world.
Absolutely, and like that word, it's a shame that it's almost like two different groups within the whole libertarian movement or freedom movement, whatever you want to call it, of people who understand what you're talking about when you say New World Order. By the way, we're part of that group, and and people who kind of look down their nose at it, what you mean, but I think the idea of that gets really skewed, like people just kind of sitting there twiddling their fingers together behind a table, when really it's just convergent interests. I really like the way that George Carlin put it, and it's just convergent interests, because this is politics meets big business working together to help each other, and if it takes away from the people, then so be it.
Yeah, exactly. It has nothing to do with the general public anymore of America. It's just a matter of the rich getting richer, like I said.
Absolutely. And so are you guys in the writing process, or is there any new kind of topics that you're looking to explore or anything like that? Or
I haven't really gone into depth about it. We've just kind of what we do is we'll make money off the last album, and then we'll use that money to do another album, and that's just what we keep on doing. And it's just a matter of when it comes and goes. It depends on how much we make from this album. If we make this much, then we can create another album, So everything gets put back into perspective, but we don't really have a actual topic for the next album or anything like that.
So what's the fan response like? Do you get messages from fans who are like, I've never heard of this topic before and it really intrigued me, or you woke me up to this, like, because that's something that really interests me, is the role of more underground music now that pop music is so trashy.
Mm-hmm. Well, we never really get messages like that. I'm not sure why, honestly. I think it's just a matter of people just overlooking exactly what we're saying, and they're paying more attention to the music. I'm not exactly sure, because we don't really outright, promote all this stuff on our Facebook or anything like that. It's just our music that we put up there. So
yeah, I hear you. And that's a common thing. That's a common thing, I think, in metal. And I think that's really unfortunate, because, like you said, there's a lot of bands talking about this message and stuff like that. And unfortunately, the vocals, because of the vocal style, gets overlooked.
Exactly, definitely. And... yeah.
So how about the song that we brought in for the intro there, Insurgence? On the whole second album, it seemed to me that the entire songwriting process went through almost an overhaul and seemed overall more mature in both the lyrical writing and the song structure itself. Would you say that's accurate? Like, you guys are evolving your sound in a more mature way, or?
Yeah, I mean, it's whatever we come up with at that time, whatever we're into, we'll make it. We just enjoy making music. What Endgame mainly was about, it's just like a story of life. It's all the experiences that we go through, and I think with all the stuff that we've all been through in the past few years, it kind of tied into our lives in itself.
I'm just curious. This is kind of a side question. Just curious, but have you ever heard of the documentary by Alex Jones called Endgame?
Yes, I have.
Did that influence the title or anything? Have you ever seen it?
I have seen the video. I don't think that it influenced the title. What happened was our bassist does his own acoustic stuff, and he wrote a song called Endgame, and it's about death, and leaving behind a trail. And that's what the last track on the album is.
So, Insurgence, what would you say is like the main message behind Insurgence? I'll read some of the lyrics for our audience because we have a diverse audience here. I don't know that it's all metal fans and stuff like that. Basically, what we try to do here is we like to interview conscious artists from all over the spectrum. So kind of a melting pot that we're trying to do here with interviewing conscious artists. But from Insurgence, some of the lyrics go, "I must break down and build. I only wish to be a part of this world. Pain, anguish at the expense of thrills. The heart in my heart only causes me chills. Every exit of the needle filled with pills. The blood spills. All things false are instilled. Uncomfortability, disease is killing me in a pile of shit that's become warm tranquility. Destruction of my conscience to rise above, misplacing integrity in the caverns of destructive love. Douse the earth in fire so we can see in the dark, and with our blistered feet we will dance. And for once I won't feel apart. The truth be told is still a lie to the liar." So I see a lot of like personal themes in the second album, more so than political themes. Would you say that's accurate, or where are you coming from with some of this stuff?
Yeah. Well, Insurgence, what Insurgence is about mainly is my battles with addiction and things like that I went through, and what it ties into the storyline of the album is kind of like the teenage years, the rebellious times. Things like that, and it's about feeling just feeling different from everybody else and not knowing how to stop. I was a homeless addict for a couple years, and that's pretty much what that's about.
Oh wow, yeah, I had no idea of that. Yeah. Another one that kind of goes into this off the first album is I almost forget the name. It's right here. Labor the Enslaver. And that could kind of go a lot of ways. What were you trying to say with this one? Because like the beginning starts off when summing up existence of all humankind, there's simply one word that comes to mind: labor the enslaver. So are you? What do you mean by that?
What labor the enslaver is about, is it's no mystery that pretty much the entire world is run by the dollar, and it's a matter of wasting your entire life just working just to barely survive.
So kind of like wage slavery.
Exactly.
So would you say that's more of a like what do you think causes that? Is that kind of the economic conditions that are going on, the economic policy? Is it greedy corporations? Like what do you make of that?
Well, I mean, if you look at the way things are right now, most of the work, especially in the U.S., is being outsourced to other countries. And all these other countries are doing the work for these American companies, and everyone's losing jobs out here in America. On top of that, I mean, look at the minimum wage and the dollar amount. We just don't make enough, and the cost of living everywhere in the United States is so high, and it just keeps getting worse and worse. The dollar becomes worth less and less, because technically every single dollar that we put out into the system is made out of debt, and it just gets deeper and deeper and deeper. And the middle class and the lower class suffer from it.
Yeah, and you're describing the Federal Reserve System, correct?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a really important topic because I basically feel that the Federal Reserve is, in essence, the root of all of the economic problems here because of the mechanism that you just described.
Well, definitely, yeah.
So, kind of going back to the music thing, there's a lot of divisions in the metal scene, even more so in the anarchist scene. I personally am a part of. How would you describe your music to new listeners? I would say that it sounds to me like technical deathcore, but that's probably just gibberish to a lot of our listeners. So, how would you describe the music to a lot of the to our audience?
Well, technically, it would be called deathcore. You know, we throw a little bit of black metal in there too, and you know, the melodies behind it and melodic death metal and stuff like that. But you know, the new album is much different, and we kind of went in a completely different direction with it. So I wouldn't really be able to classify all of it in one genre, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I would like that's part of what I meant with the more mature approach to the songwriting. It seemed like to me that there was a lot more melody. There was some clean vocals they didn't really hear on the first time. For anybody who doesn't know, clean vocals means, and obviously the vocal delivery gets a lot of either you love it or hate it, and clean vocals meaning sung vocals as opposed to growled or screamed vocals that are very, very prevalent in metal. And so you guys explored some clean vocals in that, and a lot more melody, I would say, as opposed to you know, the breakdowns and things like that that made up the first album.
Yeah, and you know, I think it tied into the album a lot better with the message that we were trying to portray. It was you know, I'd say what Endgame necessarily tells me is, you know, it's all about this message that we leave behind. It's all about the experiences we leave behind in the end, you know. I mean, the whole album, you go through all of life, and then once you reach the last track, Endgame, someone's dying, and then you're impacting your loved ones and others around you.
Absolutely. Jamie?
Well, I actually had a question for you. There was a recent article that I meant to get to earlier that there's a band called Skinny Puppy that was founded back in 1982, and regardless of that, they're more of a hardcore metal band, but they sent their invoices off to the U.S. government for using their music as torture in Guantanamo. And how would you feel about your music being used as torture in Guantanamo?
Well, definitely I would not support that in any way, shape, or form. And, you know, all in all, they would use it anyways if they wanted to. But, you know, Skinny Puppies, that really creepy industrial music.
Honestly, I think that'd be a big mistake if they did that. That might, like, make the friggin' prisoners, like, pit out and, like, overthrow these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They might want to get up and dance. Yeah. Definitely.
That's
I
actually didn't hear about that.
Well, about Skinny Puppy.
That's crazy. I didn't know about that article, Jamie. That's gotta suck to be that band, to hear that news.
Yeah, it was actually off of RT, believe it or not.
Drew?
Yeah, they're trying to pull royalties from the U.S. government for using their music as torture.
Oh, royalties! I'd be like, oh, come on, can you just stop,
trying to
please?
get money out of it.
That's really
I
messed
can
up.
understand, though. It's pretty terrible.
How is the album doing? Is it are you guys seeing an increase to where you think you're going to be able to grow more here going forward, or is it kind of still of a project at this phase?
Well, I mean, it's grown to be pretty big. It's much of a bigger deal than we thought it would be. You know, like I said, we just do it just because we like doing it. And the album's actually sold a lot of copies. We still do have more copies, and we're selling those off. And once those are gone, I'm sure we'll record another album and release that. But all in all, the plan isn't to become famous. It's not to become signed on a label and touring the country. You know, we all got lives of our own. I've got.
Well, how about doing shows out there? Is that any possibility? Because the metal community out there in California, especially a lot of the unsigned bands, are really, really cool. Like, I don't know how far you guys all are apart, but you know, we interviewed Aristaya. They're from out there. They have a lot of this message. Howie with Life Forms. They're out there, and he's an out truther. I think that'd be really interesting if you guys try to join forces for some shows.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. The thing is our drummer and bassist live in Nashville. They're going to a music writing school out there, and our guitarist is enlisted in the Army.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, there was silence there for a minute. I was waiting for that.
Yeah, no, I mean
No, but,
that stuff happens. That's going on with one of my my favorite bands right now. I don't know if you're familiar with Circle of Contempt, but they're from Finland, where they have forced conscription out there, and it's basically destroyed the band.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
for now,
I mean,
at least.
being a host of the Big
All-star
Plantation, I can openly say that I almost joined the military at one point, so no hard feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
meant that's awful with,
I mean-
having that effect on the band, because it is a really cool scene out there in California.
Yeah. Well,
So-
if you really think about it too, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no, never mind. Go ahead.
I was going to say the way that they leave it, the stuff that they leave us, kind of tying into the economic system and financial instability and stuff out here. It kind of left him no choice but to enlist in some way. It's
Yeah,
like
it's
a guaranteed
bailout of
job. It's
sorts.
guaranteed money.
Yeah,
Get you up off your ass, and
Yeah, it's kind of a bailout.
Exactly.
It caters to the people who have been devastated by the economic conditions that they created. You know what I mean? So that they can go and fight
Exactly.
in unjust wars and feel accomplished, and then get so horribly mistreated as veterans when they get back.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, if you had to, if you said that you don't really get much feedback from fans as far as like the message that you guys espouse and stuff like that.
Not often. I mean, every now and then we will, but not often. It's more based around the music style and things like that.
And why do you think that is? Because I can tell that you, like, especially in Endgame, that you really put your heart out in you delve into some pretty personal topics of your own that I can tell, and I do a little writing myself, not for a band or anything, just to do it, but there's a certain putting your heart on your sleeve aspect to it. Why do you think that is that metal fans don't look at the lyrics as much?
I think that they do sometimes, but I think it's a misinterpretation of most of the lyrics. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The way metal is it's got like this. It's got this vision to where everything's got to be dark and brutal and evil, which is the reason why there was a lot of people that didn't really like the new album, because it wasn't so dark and evil and brutal.
Yeah, and I see a lot of metal breaking out of that. I think it's getting a lot more popular to break out of that. And I guess I'll wrap up with, do you kind of, as you're writing this stuff, obviously, metal is kind of a niche genre and stuff like that, but do you feel like that you're filling a role that pop music doesn't, in terms of what you're putting out? Like, for example, the Beatles were very, obviously, extremely popular and very anti-war outwardly, and that played a role in society coalescing around being against Vietnam, things like that. Do you feel that underground music, it's basically on the shoulders of more underground music to kind of pick up the slack on the societal message?
Yeah, definitely. I think that I think that music should have some kind of message period. That's the problem with the stuff that's out there on the radio, all that mainstream stuff now, is it's really got no message whatsoever. But for the underground scene, yeah, definitely.
All right, and we're at the end of this segment now. So if you got anything that you want to plug for the band, go ahead.
Just go check us out at facebook.com/SOTC official, and there's a link to our Bandcamp on there. Go check out our merch we got.
Yeah, they got some pretty cool shirts. All right, well, Drew, I really appreciate your time. Thanks for spending some time with us, and I will be sharing the music, brother.
All right, thanks, man.
Do you have a group or organization founded on the principles of personal liberty, health freedom, or accountable government? We invite you to check out Same Side Entertainment. Same Side is a source for activists and liberty organizations to connect with well-known leaders in today's growing movement for sustainable living, personal liberty, and sovereignty issues. Same Side has a variety of keynote speakers, debate panels, interactive web presentations, musicians, and liberty-based entertainment, as well as services for web design, graphic design, video, and photography. Same Side can help customize your event by connecting you to the best of the liberty and political world while staying within your budget. Get connected with leaders in the liberty movement like Tom Woods, Kevin Gutzman, Jack Hunter, Robert Scott Bell, Bob Murphy, Michael Scheuer, John Bush, Jordan Page, Tatiana Moroz, and many more. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and our website at www.samesideentertainment.com. Again, that's www.samesideentertainment.com. Same Side Entertainment, connecting you with the education and resources you need.
Obamacare. Fun. Cool. YOLO. At Obamacare, we believe in saying the words affordable health care so that young people will love us and sign up like lemmings. Sure, you pay 2.5% of your income in penalties, but young people don't have to worry about that because you don't have a job. Work sucks. That's why we at Obamacare want to trade your full-time job for a part-time one. So you'll have more time for fun things, like watching millionaire celebrities tweet about how affordable we are. Obamacare. Just like guys enjoy premium leather seats, so too you'll enjoy paying triple the healthcare premiums out of your new part-time salary. Speaking of guys, ever been on a mandate before? At Obamacare, we're full of mandates. But don't worry, big corporations get exempt, so you don't have to. It's fun paying for things you don't even use. Yeah, you work out, stay healthy. But come on, brah. Someone's got to pay for people who smoke, drink 85-ounce sodas, and live in a Barcalounger. So enjoy your premium hikes, young people of America, because everyone loves hikes. Obamacare. If millionaire celebrities can afford us, why can't you? A message from the White House Office of Obamacare. Propaganda to get young people to love us and sign up like lemmings.
In every age, a technology is created that upends the foundations of society. The wheel, the printing press, the internet. Now, in a world sliding into financial chaos, a new technology is changing the way monetary systems work around the world. It is called Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a new form of money, controlled not by banks, governments, or corporations, but through mutual commerce between free individuals. To learn more, visit weusecoins.com.
Well, yeah, it's getting tough out there. Yeah, no doubt. I work in home invasions, mostly. Some murder, occasional rape, if she's hot, or really bitchy. And I'm a huge advocate of gun control, absolutely. Every time I kick in a door or smash a window, I face the possibility of being shot and killed. Allowing citizens to own guns creates a hostile work environment for me and my associates. No one should have to work under those conditions. I say make them all illegal, absolutely. I mean, I break the law for a living. I'm a professional, so it doesn't really bother me. No doubt. No doubt.
Your local violent criminals work hard and put their lives on the line every time they attempt to murder, rape, abduct, or assault a member of the citizenry. They desperately need your help. With your support, there may finally come a day when a violent criminal can have his way with you or someone you love without the fear, anxiety, and stress caused by knowing there's a possibility his victim might be armed. Please show your support by voting for stronger anti-gun legislation because criminals prefer unarmed citizens.
In 1997, a high school shooting was stopped by a vice principal with a gun. In 1998, a middle school shooting was ended by a neighbor with a gun. In 2002, a terrorist attack was stopped by a school guard and a teacher with a gun. After September 11th, pilots began carrying guns to protect their passengers. Let's give our schools and teachers the same option. Sign the petition at defendschools.com.
Thanks for listening to FPRN. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter. If you'd like to start your own show with FPRN, advertise with us, or donate to the network or to your favorite shows, check out our website at www.fprnradio.com.